Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Friday, April 10th, 2026. Make sure you look at the official products and imposter warning. Read this riveting important disclosures and limitation on liability, please. What a week. Woo, what a week. We're just going to jump right into this. I'm going to be off camera. This is going to be short because I am working hard on the AMA for Sunday. What can price really tell us? This is going to be epic, so tune in for that, please. Okay. What a week it was. We all know about the big gap up that we had on Wednesday, 2.5% on the SPX. I mean, look, how can you say that this was not a good week? It's hard not to say this was it wasn't a good week. We're back above all the moving averages on all the indexes. We're back up into the range here, although in the bottom of the range. If you look at the Qs, they're a little bit farther up, and we're starting to see some relative outperformance recently on tech names, which is what we want to see. We're in like the 75 percentile of this range, so that's good, although volume is horrible. We've got IWM basing beautifully here, right above this intermediate term downtrend, and we've got the Dow consolidating after a beautiful breakout and fall through. So there's nothing I can really find wrong with the market. This is probably rest time. Resting here would be so healthy. I would love a whole week worth of rest. Will we get that? I don't know. If we just go sideways like this and correct through time, wait for the 8 to catch up, we'll see a lot of things come onto the list. Right now, there's a lot of things that popped on this day and are just doing a 3-day consolidation, but they still look like they need to rest a little bit. But I can't find anything wrong with this week. Look at the weekly bars here. Okay, so we had the SPX, which was up almost 3.5% last week. Okay, great. That's the line in the sand. We hold it, and then boom, we're up another 3.5% with follow through. This is, again, a perfect spot for a rest, right at the bottom of this range that we broke below, right? There's the lowest close right there in that range, right, which is right there. So it would make perfect sense to consolidate here for a week, maybe even 2 weeks. But you can't be mad at this. I mean, look how close we are to all-time highs again. Can you believe that? True, a lot of names are not participating, but maybe they're just lagging. Same thing here with the Qs. So last week, we're up 4%. This week, 4.5%. Beautiful fall through. Lower volume, I get it, but I will take it. We're just back into this range. Again, this is a spot which should make perfect sense to rest for a little bit. IWM. Last week, we reversed off of the top of this massive range we held, which is what we wanted to do, gosh darn it, right off the 50 period. And this week, we get a nice follow through for 4%. And then finally, the Dow, which again, it held exactly where you'd think it would or where it needed to. Last week, we're up 3%. This week, we're up another 3%. So again, that's nothing I can really be upset about. If we look at the components, the VIX imploded this week as low as 1884. Confirming this little, what is this? It's not a failed breakout. It's not it's kind of a reversal, but it's a spot that it just looked like we could probably break below, and we certainly did on Wednesday. Some beautiful fall through. We're right at the 200. Again, a spot where it would be reasonable to say we have a day or two of resting or maybe a little bit of a counter trend before trying to follow through. TLT, we had this false breakout confirmed yesterday and now starting to break below this channel. Dixie going in the right direction for sure. We had this gap down, tried to get back above the 200, rejected, back above the 200, rejected, back above the 50, rejected. So hopefully this thing starts making its way down here now. Nice move on mags. Here's that gap up, consolidation, digestion, and then follow through back above the 50. SMH looks fantastic, although, a rest would certainly be warranted here, and that would be fine. Look how far it is from the 8. IGV looks like hot death. I keep thinking it's overdone in this sector, but apparently the market doesn't think so. Yeah, a little bit of a rest here in XLF. This is okay. This was the move we needed. This was the bottoming move that we formed here. Then the breakout, which broke above this long-term, intermediate. Excuse me. I'd say long to intermediate to long-term trend line. Getting held back by the 200. It deserves a day off. Same thing with carry. Beautiful move this week. A little bit of consolidation there. Even XHB got in the game. This rounding bottom. Okay, I'm not sure what happened, but I just did the whole second half of the daily update without it actually recording. So I'm going to jump in where it cut me out. Oil. Let's see here. Oil took the week off for sure, came in quite a bit, which is nice. Take some pressure off the market. USO as well. XLE looks like it's right on the precipice, maybe a day or two, and it might roll over. Although OIH is hanging in there, it might have a small lower top in. We'll have to see what happens. Gold, decent week. Basing right in the middle of this gap. Gold miners, though, already went higher, so maybe that's giving us an idea of where gold goes. Silver, not doing a whole lot. XLV, this is ugly, ugly, ugly. It looks so nice on this rounding bottom in a breakout, and it's a big bearish candle there, which sucks. XBI, a little bit of a pullback after a good week, breaking into new 52-week highs. TAN doing nothing. Bitcoin trying to convince us that the bottom is in this little series of higher lows here, but it needs to get above this area. Sometimes it moves on the weekend, and pot doesn't exist. Okay, so a lot of names that were mentioned in the daily updates on this day that I said could probably slingshot and fall through, but they just didn't set up on the daily, unfortunately. But we had Nebius, which went from 108 to 150. Amcor, which went from 46.50 to 59. Look at Amazon. Look at Amazon get back in the game. That's got to be good. Netflix looking better. Wolf. Whoops. Wolf got went from 15-ish to almost 20. Look at Goldman Sachs. Looks fantastic here. The problem is it's got earnings on Monday. A lot of bank names look just like this. A lot of stocks look similar to this, or like Bros, where they've gapped up and maybe they're a little bit sloppy, but they're holding the gap, which is super important. I can't emphasize how important it is that we gapped up here on the SPX. Not only did we not give it back, we followed through and just had a very minor down day. So basically closing at the highs of the week. That's very important. So like I said, the second half of this thing got cut off. There was only one stock I moved over to the green list. It was Palantir, which at one point today I said was hot death when it was down here, but is reversed and could get back above this level. Not the best setup. It's a slingshot, but it's maybe worth a shot. Everything else stayed on this list. CCJ, I think, looks good. Still consolidating here. I think Apple still looks good. I think Google looks good. This is, kind of like Bros. A lot of names look like this. They're holding the gap. Oscar looks really good. It's just on the precipice of the all-time high VWAP. It didn't really give back a lot compared to like XLV. The only thing I think I took off here was Microsoft, right? Yeah, Microsoft, which looks horrible. And then nothing went over here. And I don't think anything came off. Applied Materials follow through, but yeah, looks like it could rest a little bit. It's a long way from the 8. Hopefully a lot of these names get some correction through time. Meta looks great. Another great week. I mean, look, we got Microsoft and Tesla notwithstanding. We got some great moves in Amazon. Good move in Netflix, Meta. Look at NVIDIA. What a week for NVIDIA. That's definitely active. Citigroup, similar to a lot of the banks, trading near all-time highs. My goodness, that's great news. Earnings coming out on the 14th. JP Morgan, look at that. That looks fantastic. Similar to Goldman Sachs, breaking this downtrend. I mean, if the banks get back in gear, we're off to the races. Earnings coming out on the 14th, and Bank of America, another one. So yeah, if you're not in the trading room yet, I want you to get in there, because especially over the weekend, I realized today that there are some channels that for some reason were hidden when we did some of the recent work. We got this one, It's Good, where you just can post really cool things off topic, where you can talk about all sorts of things off topic. Where are you at? If you're in this community, send us some pictures. You traveling? You going somewhere with your family? Look at LR, the Italian and Slovenian Alps. How awesome is that? We want to see where you're at. What are you doing? You're part of this community. Post something in there. And then Friday playlists. You know, if you come up with a name or something, or a song or something you want people to listen to on a Friday, put it in there. Also, some of these names these channels might have been hidden. So hopefully they're all unhidden. There is a lot of action in the after hours and on the weekend in the trading room. So it just turns into a social club. Come in there, check it out. If you don't, I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.